Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, and welcome to Big Ten predictions for week number 2 in college football. We do this every single day of the week, but this week has been kind of scheduled with the Labor Day weekend and the holiday weekend, of course. We had games on Monday, also Tuesday didn't work to get a video done. So, yeah, we're trying to do these every single day from now on, though. But, regardless, we did reactions earlier today. We're going to do some Big Ten predictions right now. And then, of course, the final video will be Alabama high school football predictions as well. But first, of course, if you guys are new to the channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. With that being said, the NFL kickoff is tonight. Chiefs, Ravens, going to be a fun one. Cannot wait. But regardless, we got some Big Ten predictions to get into. Let's hop into it. Alright, starting off with Friday, September 6th, Western Illinois at Indiana. I've already said this. I'm going with Indiana here. Again, they are by far the better team. Coming off of a win this past weekend, they should be able to get the job done. Duke and Northwestern, I'm going to reiterate this one as well. I have chosen Duke in this matchup. I think Malachi Moore is going to be a very fun quarterback for Duke, the transfer. He's going to light up this game, especially with Northwestern struggling like they did this past weekend. I think that Duke should take this one on the road and get the job done as well. So, Indiana and Duke getting wins on Friday night this weekend. Alright, so the two main Big Ten games we're going to save for last. That is, of course, Texas, Michigan, and then Colorado at Nebraska. We'll break down those games here shortly. So fast forward if you want, but we're not going to do that right now. Starting out for our first game, though, is Bowling Green at Penn State. Penn State coming off of a win in West Virginia, and what a lot of people thought was going to be a very sneaky game for Penn State, but that does not show anything. I think Penn State is back. I think Drew Aller looks really good with their new offensive coordinator that they just got this past offseason. I think they're going to be lighting up this scoreboard at home against Bowling Green and get the job done as well. Now, moving on, Rhode Island at Minnesota. I like the Gophers to bounce back here. They lost to North Carolina this past weekend on a shanked field goal at the end of the game. But with that being said, they're playing a Rhode Island team who, yes, is 1-0 right now, but they are playing a Rhode Island team who is going to struggle against an FCS school. I mean, that's just how it goes normally, especially playing a Power 4 conference team. You're going to struggle if you're that team. So with that said, Minnesota is going to get the win at home against Rhode Island. Up next is Akron at Rutgers. Rutgers starting off the year 1-0, struggled a little bit this past weekend. I'm expecting them to get the win here at home against Akron and move on to 2-0. Iowa State at Iowa. This game is going to be very, very sneaky. I like Iowa to win this game. I really do. The defense for Iowa last week played really well. Granted, it was against one of the lower tier teams, but this is going to be a big Big Ten test early on here for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and especially that defense, and see if that defense can get any better against Iowa State. So to recap, of course, Penn State, Minnesota, Iowa, and yeah, getting all wins this weekend. Let's talk about the next games up. Up next, I think this game is going to be very sneaky for this weekend. This is going to be a very sneaky game this weekend. It's Michigan State, the Spartans out of East Lansing, going into Maryland, the Terrapins. This game is going to be fun to watch. I think this game is going to be an all-offensive game. I don't think there's really going to be a lot of defense involved in this game. And, yeah, I think that, number one, Michigan State's going to win this game. I think they are going to go on the road, upset Maryland here, I guess, if you will. Have that one. Maryland just struggling. Michigan State, I know they struggled too. If this game comes down to a shootout, then Michigan State has the offensive firepower to put Maryland away, and I think that they will do that on the road in Maryland. Now, moving on is Eastern Michigan at Washington. Will Rogers, the Mississippi State transfer quarterback, looked really good last week. I expect that trend to continue here against Eastern Michigan, and as they will get the win there. South Dakota at Wisconsin. Got to give this one to Wisconsin here. The Badgers are going to get a win before they play Alabama at home, and we will see how they fare against the Crimson Tide next weekend. But I think as of right now, Wisconsin will get the dub and go on to 2-0 on the year. Kansas at Illinois. Kansas will get this road victory win. Their offense looked really solid all across the board yet last weekend. I expect that trend to continue. Took them a little bit to get going, but once they got going, they put up some numbers. Western Michigan, Ohio State. I'm just going to keep going here. Ohio State's going to get this win and improve to 2-0. Jeremiah Smith is a dog. Will Howard's a dog. They got Caleb Downs because they wanted to get Caleb Downs. And, yeah, they're going to win this game against Western Michigan. They stand no chance against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, moving on is Colorado, Nebraska. Going to save those for separate clips here. Boise State at Oregon. This game has sneaky competition written all over it. This has upset written all over it. With that being said, Boise State is one of the favorites in the group of 5 to win that college football playoff spot, that 12th seeded spot. They're one of the favorites to have that one. However, I think that they are going to go on the road. They're going to put up a fight against Oregon and Eugene. I think the committee will see that eventually if they go undefeated the rest of the way. With that being said, I got Oregon winning this game. I'm not selling all my Oregon stock yet. Just talked about that in my reaction video. Oregon is really good. They built that roster for a reason. I trust Dan Lanning and what he's doing with Oregon right now. Give it time. I know they've struggled against Idaho, but this game's going to be very sneaky. Give them a couple more games throughout the year. They should be in business, and I think they will get the win there. USC, Utah State, another one of those games that could be sneaky. By the way, USC did just announce the retiring of Caleb Williams' jersey, number 13. With that said, USC is going to get the win at home against Utah State. Up next, and our last 11 a.m. game that we are going to be discussing here in these Big Ten predictions. Texas going into Ann Arbor, taking on the defending champs Michigan in a top 10 matchup here in Week 2. This is going to be fun. You're going to watch Quentin Ewers, Donovan Edwards, 2 EA Sports College Football 25 cover athletes. This game has Texas written all over it across the board. I think Texas is going to absolutely demolish Michigan in this game. Michigan's defense is struggling here. I think they're going to struggle against this Texas offense. This is going to be a good testament, though, if this game ends up being a shootout here as to what's going to go on. Quentin Ewers, again, you like them. You like Isaiah Bond at the receiving position, the Alabama transfer. For Michigan, guys that I'm looking at here is Will Howard. How's he going to fare in this game, especially against that SEC caliber defense in Texas, who is really, really good, if you're asking me. Donovan Edwards for Michigan is going to be very, very good as well. With that being said, though, it is a home game for Michigan, so I'm expecting it to be a little bit close, and which is why I have it going to an all-shootout matchup, and Texas is going to get the win here on the road in Ann Arbor. And last but certainly not least, how can we forget about Colorado going into Nebraska on what I think is going to be one of the games of the week. There are 3 games this week that I think are going to be the game of the week. 2 JV games, I guess you would say. But this is one of them. Texas, Michigan is one of them. Tennessee, NC State is going to be one of them. And then Boise, Oregon, and App State, Clemson are going to be the 2 that I'm going to keep my eye on as well. With that being said, though, Shedeur Sanders, Coach Prime, going into Lincoln, Nebraska here, and taking on Dylan Raiola and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This game has Dylan Raiola written all over it. Last week, we saw how good that he could play. I'm expecting him to break down that Colorado defense. I know they got Travis Hunter, who plays both sides of the ball. With that being said, it's going to be about the Colorado offense if you're going to keep up with Michigan, Nebraska or not. I really think it's going to be about that Colorado offense. Can Shedeur Sanders keep his composure on the road in what's going to be a very, very tough environment if you guys are Colorado fans? With that being said, I'm taking Nebraska here in a close matchup here as the game of the week at night. Anyway, of course, that is where I'm going to leave the last video of the day for you guys. Once again, if you have not already, like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. With that being said, I'm going to hop off, get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Stay tuned. You watched all the way through the video. Big announcement coming on Friday's video during Alabama High School playoff, or Alabama High School predictions, excuse me. big announcement is I will be announcing something that I cannot wait to talk about on Friday. However, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you all so much for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.